Hello, how is it going? I think that we can start. Let me see the chat. Hello, everybody. Are you? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, well, I think that it should be working. Hi, Lucia. Hola, muy buenas. Okay. Well, last week we did a kind of review of how the market making controller works. I give you some details about what files to review to really understand the behavior and that stuff. I mentioned that I was working on a PR. That is this one, market making with position hold. This PR basically adds the feature of holding positions for the controllers. So now when you are starting a controller, you're going to have positions that you can hold for long, for short. You can increase the position size, you can decrease the position size, and you can always run executors that some of them are going to be invariant to your position, but some of them are going to be increasing your position. So with this PR, the idea is to show you some basic examples. I'm going to do a good explanation about hedge mode, holding a long, holding a short. Well, I hope that you like it, and well, ask any questions that you have. Hello, Stanislav Ivanov. Hello for you too. So well, it's time to start. First, I'm going to do everything based on this PR that basically has a few changes. Mostly has some changes. I added a new executor that is called order executor, and I improved the shutdown process of other executors. So well, I think that you should be able to see some of the changes here. And I also added that the position, because I added the position feature before, but I made that the position has side, because when you are doing hedge mode, it's not only one position, you have two positions for the same connector pair. So I added the feature of position hold with hedge mode. I added also, instead of holding all the in-flight orders and doing the computation of the break-even price based on that, I did like a progressive accumulation of base and quote asset to make that calculation. So we don't have to store a lot of things in memory, and also the computations are faster because we don't need to recompute through all the orders all the time. We just keep a state of the position that we are holding. So well, those are like the main changes of this PR. Also, I would like to give a big shout out to Memento, that he did the environment upgrade, one of the most important PRs of this release. Basically, we moved the most important change is that we moved the most of the core libraries that we are using, the dependencies like Pydantic, to the newer versions. That will allow them to improve and make the code base faster over time. And he also moved a lot of things to Conda, so the installation process should be better. Well, it's very good if you can start testing development, because as this is a big change in the code base, we want to make sure that works for everyone. So that's another thing. Well, let's now start. Oh, Bitcoin is going below 84. That's not really good, but well. Let's start with this. So I also added two basic controllers so you understand all this stuff. But let me start with Obsidian, showing you a graph. My controllers, Scali draw this one that we were talking the other day. So This is DCA executor. Soon, as I mentioned, I will be updating the docs. So it is yeah. Well, we do usually a release every month. So to see changes in master, you always wait like 1 month. But the important thing is that you can always use development if you are doing development, and you can use the development image in your games that you want to use the development image. So that's something that you can control. Usually before merging the PRs into, you usually know, it's like always, before merging the PRs into development, the process is the following. A developer from the community creates a PR. Once the PR is created, we have a priority list because we are open source, so sometimes we have some priorities. For example, one of the top priorities was Mementos PR. So as the PR is submitted, QA start reviewing the PR and make sure that the PR works, like the basic QA analysis, like the strategy starts, you can connect the credentials. Depending on the modules that it's affecting, we'll check, okay, I need to check or run this strategy and so. After QA says, okay, the PR is good, the PR is doing what it's intended to do, I do the code review, so I need to review the PR. If there are some observations to do, we put the observations and we request changes depending on the severity of the changes. Usually, if it's something that is not affecting a core dependency, a core module of our code base or something like that, we try to be more light. Because sometimes if I say no, I like the things that has to be done in this way, it's very difficult to grow an open source project. So I usually try to provide guidelines of what I think that is the correct thing, and then the developer has a chance to say, okay, I will do it or not. And if it's affecting something that is core, I will say no, if you don't do it in this way, it's not going to be merged. So that's how we are doing the things. So after passes QA and after passes my review, we merge that into the development branch. And then all the PRs are doing the same thing all over the development branch. And once a month, for example, the next Monday, we're going to create staging. Staging is like a branch that we do from development to test, to do all the tests that we do, all the regression tests that we do to do the official release to master. And then we do the official release to master, and we start adding more PRs to the development branch. So, well, that's like the process. Well, just to explain you this stuff, I'm going to talk about only 2 executors right now. Soon, when I update the docs, I will try to explain all the executors. But well, how the position executor works, basically, if you know about it, we start the position executor with an open order. So here we have a position, right? Let's say that we have a long. Here we have let's say at this point, we have something called unrealized PNL, right? So at this point, we have unrealized PNL of positive, I don't know, plus X percentage, right? So well, the price can go up and we take profit. Good. If we take profit here, it's all good. Or it can go down and it can be stop loss, or it can reach this barrier and it will be time limit, right? So what happens in this scenario? We open a position, so we open a long, and then we close it via take profit, via stop loss, or via time limit. So what happens with our inventory in this case? Is our inventory the same as we started with this executor? Who can answer from the audience? Is we started with, let's say that this is in a spot. We started with 0 BTC and 100 USDT. The open order, let's say that was, hi Saul. The open order, let's say that was 120 USDT, right? And the close order, that this can be TP, SL, or time limit, is going to be also 20 USDT. Right? So the open order is going to be this one. Here we spent 20 USDT. And depending on this scenario, we can have this scenario, this one, or this one. So it's this one and one of these. What's our inventory after we, the position executor, finish the execution? What's the impact that this executor will have in our inventory? Someone from the audience? If there is no answers, I will answer it. So we don't. Well, the inventory depends on what. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I will answer so we don't have too much time to wait. But the thing is, actually, I made a mistake here because it's not 20 USDT. It's the same amount that we open. So we are not selling actually 20 USDT. We are just in 20 units. Let's say, let's say token X token. Units of X token, and then 20 units of X token. The position executor always uses, or all the trades are done in base amount. So always you buy a base amount and you sell the same base amount. So in this case, the inventory tends to be imbalanced. From the original state, right? The only difference is that is inventory, let's say inventory T1 is going to be equal to inventory in T0 plus realized P&L minus fees, right? So the only thing that is going to change our inventory is going to be the realized P&L that we have, because if we take profit, we're going to have more inventory, but that's the usual thing, right? If we're going to have stop loss, we're going to have less inventory, but well, this is going to be units, 20 units. 20 units. So that's the thing. It's like at some point we're going to have some wins and losses, but the total inventory is going to be almost the same, right? And we're going to end up with 0 X token. We are not going to have any X token because it's how it works. It's like it buys and then sells everything. It's really cool this because, and that is why I designed this executor, one of the primitive executors, this one, because you know that the action that you are going to take is not going to change your inventory. It can profit or can lose, but it's not going to change your inventory. So at the end, you're going to end up with the same inventory as before. For market making, if you are doing contract market making and is something, the inventory that you want to keep in certain ranges, you can use it to your favor to do this stuff. Then we have the DCA executor, right? The DCA executor is another one that is very similar to the position executor, but the main difference is that I don't like this. Oops. This one I don't like it. Let me do it like this. The only difference between the position executor and DCA is that the DCA, when has multiple open orders. But the cool thing is that, let's say that this order gets filled at this point, right? If this order gets filled, the take profit is going to be this one. So if the price goes up, it will close the order with take profit and the DCA will be stopped. So only we have the profit of this amount times this distance. So if the second order gets filled, now we have this break-even price, right? This is the break-even price of, imagine that is the same amount. So the orders have the same amount. Will be in the middle of the two orders, the break-even price. So if this order gets hit, this is our new break-even price, and if the price goes up and hits the take profit, it will be finished the executor. Maybe you noticed that this take profit went down. Why? Because the DCA executor always computes the take profit against the break-even price. It's part of the features. It's updating the break-even price, and always the take profit and stop loss is always regarding the break-even price. And let's go to the last scenario. When we hit the three orders, now the break-even price is actually here in the middle, because this order is in the middle of the three. If we think that they have the same amount, the good thing is that in the DCA executor you can put different amounts if you want. But the order, the break-even price goes here, and then if it goes up to this point, now we are taking profit again. So the good thing, this is a kind of martingale at James, but it's called usually I put it DCA because it's when you buy an asset several times and you lower down the break-even price, and when the price goes up, you close it. But you are taking more risk as the price is going down. This is how this DCA executor works. And the stop loss is only activated when the three orders get filled. So at this point, when the three orders got filled, now we can is activated stop loss based on the break-even price. Also, it's like all the targets, the take profit, the stop loss, and the time limit are all, well, time limit no, because it's only time, but the take profit and the stop loss and the trailing stop, because it also has trailing stop, the three are related to the break-even price that the position has. And sometimes the position can be finalized before it goes up to the maximum level that is hitting the three orders. But you can put 10 orders if you want. But well, actually, it's good that you mentioned the martingale, because the first strategy that we did with my friends was a martingale in doing perps trading, placing longs and shorts at the same time, highly leveraged, and trying to bet the market, but it didn't went so well. But well, that was the first thing that we tried. But I think that it requires a lot of discipline and a lot of orchestration to keep it up, because sometimes you know that you're going to go get liquidated. But I think that there is something there, because if you hit a few good trades in a small amount of time, probably you can duplicate the money very fast. Sometimes you know that you're going to lose it, but I think that there is something there that requires a lot of study and all that stuff. But well, I think that there is a potential thing. Actually, when I was in the university, not really a lot of capital. I think that with $50 per sub account, if you leverage yourself to $100 let's say that you leverage to 50, you have 2.5k. So what we did was we spot markets that you can enter in a trade with $1. So we were doing $1, $2, $4, like the classic roulette game that you play with the colors. I don't know if you play that one, but when I was in the university, I was studying engineering the first year. I went to the casino like 1 month to play every day, to play like the electronic roulette, betting to the color and duplicating. It takes like, for me, 45 minutes every day, but I was making quite good money. But one day the machine throw I think that was 17 blacks, consecutive 17 blacks, and I that's the first time that I got liquidated. But well, Was a fun moment. But yeah, well, this is the same thing, and as you can see, this executor also remains invariant, makes your inventory invariant, because every time that you are buying, at some point in the near future you're going to sell it. So this one also leaves your inventory invariant. So what I added right now is a new executor called wait, is this one? Let me add like this, tac tac. A new executor called order executor, that is just the simplest thing, that is just an order. It does not have any barrier, and the only thing that is cool is how execution strategy is how you want to execute it. You have limit, you have limit maker, you have market, and you have market, and you have limit chaser. These are like the four execution, the same execution strategies as, let me put like in this way. These are the execution strategies that are available. Limit, you have to, let's say that this is the mid price. Let's put like this is the mid price, and put like this. So if you're executing limit, you will oh no. I don't know what happened, but I broke. I don't know what happened. Okay, now works, I think. Yeah, perfect. Well, if I put limit, you need to pass a price, and it will place the order here. Let's say that we put it here, the order. Once it gets filled, let's say that now here it got filled at this point. Oops. Let me remove this so we can have a better shape. Let's say that is like this, right? So if we put a limit, it will place an order here. When it gets filled, it will automatically close executor and will move this to the position hold. So this executor will automatically send these orders to position hold. So this will be sent to position hold. And this will be a list of orders that from the same side. A list of orders that we hold. This is because it's not free to buy something. When you are buying something, it's like you have break-even price for those actions, and you need to then decide what to do with that inventory, right? If you put limit maker, it's like this one, but if the order that you sent is crossing the book, it will not be executed as market, it will fail. This prevents you to execute orders at market when you only want to execute it with limit orders. Then we have market, that you all know what is market. And then you have limit chaser, that is in case that, let's say that you put an order here, right? To buy. So we put an order here to buy, and it's not executed. And now this distance is like bigger than the threshold. Let's say this. I'm very bad drawing to date. If this distance is bigger than the threshold, it will refresh the order. So it's like trying to follow the price until it gets filled. Can you explain cross the book, please? Yeah, cross the book is like let me show you an order book. Canva. This is an order book. So if you have this order book, right? If you place a buy order, it will be in this part. If you place a sell order, it will be in this part. But if you send a buy order that crosses the book, so it's like in this place, this order will match and take. It will take the sell order that is here. So it's like you are sending the order as a limit order, but as it's crossing the book, and there is a sell order that matches it, it will be executed as market. So if you put limit maker and you place the order here as buy, it will not buy, it will fail because you are crossing the book. That is what is crossing the book means like. Well, so this is how you are going to send the order to position hold. So at the end, the controller, if you think about the controller, let's say this is the controller, we have a list of active executors and a list of position hold, right? So the controller will have executors that are active there, trading or doing different things. Yeah, can be that the price moved when you send it. That's something that usually happens. So let's say that you are placing the orders at very small distance from the mid price, and then the market went down, and when you send the order and the order arrived to exchange, is already another price. If you put limit maker, it will fail, and you can send it again at the right price. Well, the controller will have a list of active executors. It's like, I don't know, you can be trading on this pair with a long and this pair with a short, with a triple barrel method, waiting for the execution, all that stuff. So it can be like position, let's call it PE1, PE2, DCA1, DCA2. It's like you can have some active executors that are trying to profit. Some active executors that are trying to profit in some markets. And you can also have long Binance, BTC, 100 units, let's say, right? Because you are holding a long in Binance of 100 units, something like that. Well, this is the same shit. Long Binance, and you also have, I don't know, you have a long in Binance and you have a short in ETH. Short in ETH, like this. It's like you can be holding positions that are affected to the P&L because of the change of the price, and you also have some active executors that are going to be active. Kind of a trading stop, but why would you want to trail below when there is a reversal? It's more likely to continue. I don't know which one are you saying, Memento. You mean for the limit chaser, for the crossing the book, for the limit maker? I don't know. But the reason why you want to have limit maker sometimes, and why some people use that, personally I use it for the FDUSD pairs, is because if I trade with a limit order, I pay 0 fees. The limit chaser is trying to follow the price. I personally won't use it. I will manage by myself too, that one. But there were some people from the community that wanted to implement limit chaser. That is like, I don't know, let's say that you hit a target of take profit, but you don't want to execute it at market. You want to execute it with limit orders. You can place a limit chaser that will be following the price until it gets filled. But it's very mostly for liquid markets, probably can be also. But I will probably not use it. But well, the limit, usually when you want to execute it with limits, is because you either have negative fees or 0 fees, and if not, if you are trading with market order, you're going to pay 0.1%. So it's like a very big difference. So maybe it's worth to use the limit orders. So well, now that we know that we can have a positions, yeah. No, yeah, but there was one guy from the community that was asking for it, so I just decided to put it. And well, actually, maybe I can use it too, but will depend a lot on the strategy that I want to do. But I was not planning to use it now. That's what I'm saying. Well, so we have the position hold and we have the active executors, right? So I prepared a very simple controller, so you can analyze this behavior. Is under generic control in the same PR. Let me change this because the workflow is passing. Move default. So when you run it, you don't have partials. But pay attention, because now we're going to understand really well how the hedge mode works, the different ways that you have to hedge your position, to open a long and open a short, understand this primitive executor. So it's a good moment to pay attention. So, well, the first thing is that I created this basic order example. Let's understand it a little bit so we know what it's doing. So the only thing that we need to do when we code a controller is, like, remember, controller is equal to strategy or sub strategy, because the strategy is the one that has all the other controllers and is the one that can take like more high level decisions. The controller is just a sub strategy that only has to do two things: process data and determine what to do. In the things that can do are creating a new executor or stopping an active executor. So the controller only can watch market data and say, I will create this order or I will stop this executor, right? That's the goal of the executor, the scope. Is basically what all the trading strategies will do, is look for market data, decide what to do, and also look what's my current trading activity. That's the important thing. One question for the audience: why do you think that I don't like, or you can actually use it, but I don't recommend and I don't design any strategy that uses the balance in the controller? And this is more like an architectural decision on how I think that the algo trading has to be done. Why do you think that I don't use the balance in the controller? Who can answer? I'm waiting for the answers. Very good, Saul. That's the answer. It can be changed, the balance, by other controller. It can be changed by another strategy. It can be changed manually by me. So if I just use the balance from the raw exchange and my strategy is looking for the balance directly to do things, it's obviously that you are going to be subjected to errors on your strategy. So this position hold features, this position hold thing that I added is a feature that creates like a virtual balance from the controller. So it's like you can virtually say, this is the balance that my controller has or has in charge. And also provides the ability to run two independent controllers in the same market without affecting one to each other. The basic strategy should have the ability to know the two things that you are doing to don't like overuse your general inventory. But the main thing is that each controller will handle his own balance. That's the most important thing. Stanislav says, too much time to wait for the balance update request. No, because Hummingbot usually all the connectors use the WebSocket channel. So all the time that you receive an update via WebSocket, you process it automatically. So that is very fast, and the request is also very fast. So that's not the big thing, but could be one. So thanks for trying it. That's the good thing of doing the streaming and talk with the audience. Memento says, I added update executor. That's very good, Memento, because one of the guys here, I don't know if it's on the live stream, but it's Maxi. He was I work with him. He's a specialist in machine learning, and he was looking for updating the triple barrel method of the executors. So very good that you added that action. We need to be careful because we should be only able to update certain things of the executor, but it's very good what you did. And I also did another thing, Memento, that is more for you. You're going to understand what I'm saying. Executor actions. I removed all the unions of the types, and I added the type bar here because the other solution was not right. So now you have this config type here that will simplify the creation of the executors. And I also add the mapping that you mentioned that you want to add. From here, I added this mapping of the executors because when I was creating a strange thing happened that when I was creating the new executor and I passed the create executor actions, my order executor was coerced to position executor, so I couldn't continue with the development because of the inference of the type. That I don't know why it was happening, but with this it works. So yeah. Is there any core repos from which I can start, like which would contain general approaches? Yeah, I think that you can start with Hummingbot, and you can, and I would recommend to start with QuantDAV that has very step-by-step and easy way to understand how to get the market data, process the data, and all that stuff. Okay, well, then I will review the issue, the proposal Memento, and we will see. But I need to merge this PR, so then we can continue refactoring. That's the game of coding. If you can refactor until it gets better and better. Well, so let's understand this basic order example with the controller base, right? So we have controller base that you can inherit from controller base and controller config base to create your base strategy. This base strategy will just send buy orders to increase the position, right? Very simple. Every X amount of time will buy and buy and buy. So all the repos Niverov scheme are under Hummingbot, the Hummingbot organization. So search for Hummingbot /QuantLab, like lab, L-A-B. I would say Dobre Utra or Dobre Noche. Yeah, it seems like you are from Russia. So, well, the side is if we're going to take a long and a short, the position mode that we're going to take hedge here, the leverage, and the amount in quote that we're going to put. This is for the config, right? The configuration is the YAML that then we use. And see that we have this method that is update markets. Why? Because the strategy when it starts says, what are the controllers that I need to run? Oh, I need to run this list of controllers. So the config has this method that can update the dictionary of all the markets that we need to initialize to start Hummingbot, right? So because if we don't add this method, the markets are not going to be initialized. This is like the way to tell the main strategy, these are the markets that I need to use to trade. And what it does, it says, if the connector name is not in the markets, remember that markets is always a dictionary where the key is a connector and the value is a set of trading pairs. So if the connector is not in the markets, we add the connector as a set. This set is like a list but can contain only unique values and is immutable. And then we add to the set the trading pair. So at the end, the markets here will have Binance Perpetual and work on USDT. That is what it's going to have. So, well, you are from Ukraine. Well, it was close. And thanks for liking it. Well, so this is the config, right? The config that we're going to use. That also, remember, inherits from the controller config base that has these things like ID, controller name, total amount quotes, all this stuff that we are probably not going to use. But well, and actually I am going to remove this default of candles because appears like something that I need to complete, and we don't need to complete it. It was like an example of how to parse to make it easier, but I never used it before, so it's better to do it like this. So well, this is the config, and this is the controller. The controller, remember, is the actual strategy, right? So in the initialization, we are not doing anything special, just saying last timestamp is 0. This is only to then see when we need to send the next order and so. And in the then we have this update processing data that we need to implement it because it's like part of the controller. But in this case I put pass because I don't want to do any computation here. I just want to trade. What we can do if we want to do it or use it, that is not necessary. But let's say to understand what's the idea of the update processing data is to say, let's say that self-processing data mid-price, self-processing data mid-price, and here what you do is self.processing data mid-price is equal get price by type and this. The controller has this self.market data provider. With this market data provider, you can get the price by type. Here you can put best bid, best ask, last trade price, last trade, last on trade. So it's like you can pick any price that you want from there. And you also have other methods, like for example, quantize order amount for an order, for example, get candles feed, get balance, initialize resources, get order book. So you can use this to get the order book. You can get order book snapshot. You can actually get the order book snapshot. Yeah, it's the full snapshot of the price. The other one just get the part of the order book, I think. So you have a lot of methods in the. You have get price for volume. These are all queries to the order book. For example, get price for volume says what is the resulting price of buying at market this amount of tokens, for example. Well, you have a lot of things to check here about the market that you are trading on. So the market data provider is something cool. The idea of this update processing data is that here you compute all the features and you add all the features that you want to this processing data dictionary. Why? And you don't do everything in one single method? Because when you are doing a more complex strategy, usually what you do is to say, okay, I will have a logic for actions is equal to this list, and then you say actions append or extend self get or determine create actions proposal, and then you also extend actions extend self that determine stop actions proposal. So here in this method, you focus on the things that you are going to create. In this method, you focus on the things that you're going to stop. It's easier then to structure the code, right? And you don't want to get the mid price in all the methods that you are implementing. So in this part, in the update processed data, we store everything on a dictionary, and then we access to that dictionary in the rest of the code. That's the main idea of this method, update processed data. And also, it's really useful for the backtesting. The only way that we allow backtesting is through that update processed data, because the idea is that you can do all the calculations vectorized, and then the backtesting, when you run the backtesting, runs the update processed data over all the observations that all the data that it has, and then loops through each row with the determined executor actions. And it's not computing anything again. It's just doing this once and then looping through all of them. So that's a brief explanation of the controllers. But well, remember, update processed data, we add some features that we need. In this case, we're going to only use the mid price. And in the determined executor actions, that is the actual thing that is going to send the actions that we need to do, is going to check how many executors I have. These active executors returns a list of the executors. See that here. Let me put everything in one line. What this method does is we have this self-executors info, right? So, and we actually can abstract this here too. It's like self-processed data. Let's put like let's refactor these two. Instead of doing this, we can do something like this. And we don't need this method anymore. We can just say mid price is equal to this, right? And active executors is equal to the length of this. So remember, in self.executors info, we have a list of the executors that belong to this controller. And the executor info has a property that is active, right? If you want to check, all the properties are these. It's like status, config, PNL, fees, fitted amount quote, if it's active, if it's trading. You have all this information, right? So here we are saying this is the mid price. This is the length of active executors, and here we put self-processed data is equal to mid price and active executors. So here what we can do is if self.processed data and active executors, let me copy this, is equal to 0, and this market data provider time gives you the time, and the last timestamp starts at 0, as you can see here, and then we are modifying it here. But if right now minus the last timestamp that I sent something is greater than 60, that here I hard coded this, but let's put let me improve it a little bit. So let's see that we do this. So we are clearly separating these conditions. But actually we don't need this. And we call this self.config.order frequency. Let's put this here like order frequency will be 10 seconds. So what we are seeing here is if we don't have any active executor, then in this case we're going to send only orders. And the last time that I sent an order past it, the order frequency, I will send a new order executor config. So this order executor config has the timestamp, all the executors we need to pass the timestamp that we are creating them, This is important because you can send this information from another program. And if you send a message that got stuck and was generated 2 hours ago, you need to know when was this config generated to reject it in some case. So the timestamp that we create the executor. Then we need to pass the connector name, the trading pair, the side, that this can be buy or sell. In this case, we put buy. The amount, that always the amount is in base asset. All the exchanges, all the things that you send is always in base asset. So you need to put the self config amount quote divided by the mid price. So it's like this $10 divided by the mid price. It will give me the amount in quote that I need to send. The execution strategy, here I'm putting market. So this will be a market order. And the price, I put the mid price just to place a price, but I don't actually need to pass a price for this specific execution. And then what I do is, once I create this config, I update the price, that we can actually update this here as the first thing that we do. And we are returning. Remember that the idea of the determine executed actions is that we return a list of actions to execute. So it's like we process something and we determine what has to be done, and we send a list of actions. So the action that we are going to send is just one action, that is create executed action. We pass the controller ID and we pass the config that we just generated, that is this one. So it's very simple. It's like you just need to create the config of the order that you want to send and say create this order. How is sending the order to the exchange? What happens if the order fails? How is refreshing the order? How is controlled that the order gets filled? And everything is encapsulated in the code of the order executor. You don't need to worry about that. That's a good thing of the executors. Here you just say, I want to buy this long position. And it's going to be buying your long position. That's the explanation. I want to read the chat if there is someone. About this, is there a way to let the script we run from one sub know when an instance of our stuff, for example, or better to close position because the instance is still running actually, like when we run a task that uses a script to run multiple controllers. When a single controller closes positions, I don't know how the task will know about it. Well, that's something that we can do probably in another live stream, like doing orchestration, all that stuff. But yeah, there are ways that you can know. Or you can integrate it and make a connection to your task with Hummingbot more straightforward to know that, depending on what you want to know. If you pass the price, there is going to be a limit order. In this case, the price here is not needed, but if you pass a limit, now let's try with a limit order, execution strategy limit. If we pass here mid price minus or times 1 minus decimal, or well, easier, decimal 99 is a by 0.99. This will be like 1% of distance. The order will be placed at 1% of distance. So this price is for limit order. It's like this order executor is just buy and sell, but has some features to determine if it's closing a position, so it's opening a position, all that stuff. But it's the most similar thing as buy and sell, basically. But well, let's come back to this and let's run it. Well, now we need to run it. I will delete the other config, so I make sure that if you start it from scratch, it will still work for you. So we have this basic order one.yaml. This was the one that I was using. So to run this, I only have B2. Let me edit this. I will use Hummingbot here. I will remove this. Oh, actually, I can use Hummingbot quick start, and I can use just the -PA, and it will put the password automatically. So that's better. Well, what we need to do to create the config of that basic order example is create controller config generic basic order example, the total amount in quote, candles config. We are not going to pass anything, and here we're going to call it how I call it before. Let's call it like basic one.yaml. Okay, and here says edit the YAML. We need to edit the YAML to know what to do. So this is the YAML, says basic order example, generic, total amount quote, 100, method acquisition null, Binance perpetual, workcoin, side 1 means buy, position mode hedge, leverage 50, amount quote 10, order frequency 10. Let's put order frequency 20 or 30 so we are not executing trades all the time. Once we have basic one.yaml, we need to add the config for the script. So this conf b2 with controllers is the one that I am using. So I need to call this, I will remove this, let me remove this. This will be basic one.yaml, the one that we are going to use. Well, by memento, and well, now that we have this basic one.yaml, we're going to use and run with the B2 controllers. We're going to run this, and as you can see, we're going to first of all check the market. Wait, status live. Well, actually I put a limit order and it plays a limit order. So, well, now we got filled. Well, let me start again because it will see this. Well, no, because we missed the chance when I was adjusting the thing. Let me start again. Let me clean up this. So I will explain with Binance what we're going to see. Let me increase the time of this to 60. And let me close this position. So we start over and we know what is going to happen. So at first, at first, we're going to run this basic order example. So this execution strategy that is limit, let me change it to market. So we know that we're going to be buying at market the amount that we mentioned, right? So what we're going to see here is that an order is created and that order will hold a position that should be a position of $10 around. There is always a quantization, but that is what we are going to see. So if we start and we run here status live, we will see that the order was created. Now we have a position held that the volume traded was $9. The units that we have in WorldCoin are $11, and the value of the position right now is now 9.27. The break-even price is 0.84. The realized PNL and the realized PNL are almost zero. The fees are also almost zero. But the global PNL is negative, slightly negative, because we need to probably add more decimals to see this. So if we check here, the market, we have a position of this amount, and we put that the order frequency in the YAML was 60 seconds. So let's say that the bot took 5 seconds to start. we should see another trade happening in the next 2 or 3 seconds. You see, another trade happened. Now we increase the position. Another trade happened. The position was increased, and the break-even price, well, was not modified because we are almost the same, but we have 22 units to $18 of position, realized and unrealized P&L, and the fees that we are paying. The unrealized minus the fees, well, actually, realized plus fees minus realized plus unrealized minus fees gives us the global P&L. So these stats that we are seeing here reflect the positions that we are generating. This basic controller that just buys at regular times. Now at 2 minutes 5 seconds, we should see the third trade, because is going to be the time that it gets executed. You see another trade, 3 trades, more volume, 33 units. We have the position increase here too. So well, this example basically buys at a regular time intervals, and lets you use, it's a just buy or sell, right? But it's a simple way to show you how you, with a controller, you can just send orders to trade and keep those orders in an overall position that you are handling. The good thing of this is that we buy 3 times, but the only thing that we know is that we have a position of 33 units that has this break-even price and this performance, right? So well, this is like the basic one. Now we are going to check how we can open this position and close it, right? With the second example that is also in the code base. So we executed 4 trades already. Well, but the market is not going well. Now let's stop this and let's go to the next example that has the chance to open and close the position. So well, this second example is called basic order open close example. Is basic order as the other one, open close in this case. So the config is very similar. The only things that we add is close order delay, that in this case we are not going to buy multiple times. We are going to just buy and sell. It's like the only thing that we are going to do. We're going to buy, we're going to wait 10 seconds, and we are going to sell. That's the only thing that we are going to do. And then we have these 2 parameters that I'm going to show you later on how we are using them. But the first one right now is false. But I'm going to show you how the hedge mode works, because that is something that probably a few people knows very well when you are getting started. And I think that it's useful to use a hedge mode for some more like complex strategies where you are using a long position in one market related to another short position in another market, and a short position in the same market with another position in another market. It helps you to separate the strategies in that way. So this parameter, instead of opening the long and closing the long, will open in the long and then will open a short in the same market. So we're going to have the 2 positions working together. And in this one, instead of buying and selling all the amount, we're going to buy and sell the half of the amount that we have. Reminiscences of crypto operator. ¿Cómo está? ¿Todo bien? So well, the config is the same, very similar. Let's put here $20 among quotes. Let me create now the config. Let me stop this. Let me start Hummingbot as it is. Hummingbot, create, controller config, generic, basic, open order and close. And let's call it basic 2. So we can see the YAML. First, let's review the code. And let's do the changes that we did in the other one to use the update processed data to understand how it's actually working the controller. So these active executors, I think that actually we don't need this. Yeah, actually we don't need this part in this one because we're just buying and selling. So this one we don't need. We just need this. And then, yeah, we just need that. Well, let me do the same instructions that we did before. Saul, you gotta go. Okay, bye-bye. Have a great weekend. So the first thing is going to be abstracting the mid price as we did in the other example. So here, let's copy this and let's put the mid price here. So let's put mid price is this. And then also what else we need? The position, get position. We can leave that one. Actually, we can leave. Actually, we can leave everything there. It's like I don't want to change the code now. Then you can do it like an assignment for home if you want. But well, what we're doing in these determine executed actions, first of all, we get the mid price. When we get the mid price, the first thing that we check is the open order placed? That's the first thing that we are going to check. So the open order place starts as false, and the close order place also starts as false. So if the open order is not placed, we are going to place the open order. How? We're going to get the timestamp. We're going to pass the timestamp, the connector, the trading pair, the side that is going to be buy in our case, buy. The amount, the same logic as checking the amount in quote divided by the mid price, so we get the amount. We're going to send it at market and see that I added a thing here that it says position action open, right? So in this case, when we are putting position action open and we are placing a long, it says that we are going to open a long position. And then we pass the mid price that is also not necessary. And then we say open order place equal to true. So we are not going to enter here again. It's the only way that we are going to enter here is in this case. And we update the last timestamp and we return this executor. So at the end, we only need to return the executor, this executor config, right? So the first part is like, if we never send the open order, we send it. Very simple. And then in the next iteration, we'll say, do I send the open order? Yes, I send it already. So well, let's go to the next part. Is if the current time minus the time that I sent the order, that I updated that here, is greater than the time that I have to close the order, I will potentially close it, only if I didn't close it before. So what is this doing? Is saying, if I send the close order, I will pass. But if I didn't send the close order, and it's time to send the close order based on the time that I send the open order, I'm in position to place the close order. So the first thing that we do is to get the current position. So see that here I add this method get position, and for the trading pair and the connector name, that basically what I'm doing is saying for each position that I have in my positions held, that is a thing that the controller has, as I mentioned, the positions, you have active executors and positions held. But I put hold. I don't know, what do you prefer, hold or held? But well, let me know in the chat what you prefer. But well, for each of the positions, if the connector name and the trading pair matches, I will return the positions. So once I get the position, if there is no position, I will say, okay, there is a problem. I can't find a position to close. But if I found the position, I will say, there is a feature that says a close partial position will close the half of the position. And if this is not true, we'll close the entire position that I have. And then I just create a config that has the same things, but the side is going to be closed side that I computed the closed side in the init. I says if the side is by, the closed side is cell. That is basically very simple also. But this config, with this config are kind of opposite. This one is by and this one is cell. The only variations that this one has is that we are using the closed side, that is going to be the opposite of the open side, and also we have the position action here that is really important, because remember that I mentioned that we have this feature of open short to close long. It's like instead of closing, we are going to open a short, or if we are not going to open a short, it's like the basic scenario is just closing the long, the position action should be close. This is really important because let me put it here in Obsidian. If you open long, this is H mode. If you open a long, now we have this long position. So this is a by. No, I will do it like this. This is easier. To the actions are related to a long position is by with position action open, or cell with position action close. So these things are related to a long position, and these things this is how it works. It's like if you have a long position and you buy with position action open, you're going to open the long position, and if you sell with position action close, you're going to reduce the long position. If you sell with position action open, you're going to open a short position. If you buy with position action close, will reduce the short position. So that is how this hedge mode works. So let me now show it in production. So we added these conf controllers basic 2. Let's move these to the scripts. We're going to run this one. So now what we should expect. Oh, hey, my position was open. We made 18 cents, guys. What we are going to expect now, let me increase a little bit also the close delay to 30 seconds so we can visualize it well. What we are going to see is that we open a position, right? We open a long position, and at certain in 30 seconds we close the position. We're going to see that. So if we now run it like this, status live, we see that the first thing that it does is opens a position. See that here we have the position open here. We track the PNL, is like the same thing, and the position is a by position, right? So these the positions. When it reaches 30 seconds, that probably can be 33 because it takes a little bit to start. You will see that it will close this position. You see? Now the position is 0 because it sends the second part of the code, this part, the second part here, that it waits until it's time to close the order and was actually closing the order. You want to see it more in details what it's doing, you can use the debugger to understand what is actually happening. So if you put a breakpoint here and you run it in debug mode, let's see it again in action. Don't want to start it. Wait. Let's put a breakpoint there. You see that now gets the mid price. Is the order placed? No. So it will create the order. We'll put open order place as true. And we'll send this executor. Well, the next time it will say, is the open order? Yes, I already placed the open order. It's time to place the next order. It will say probably not. It will not pass there. It will still be there. But if this condition passes, now we are going to send the close order. And this is when we are sending actually the close order to close the original trade. And that is why it gets closed. And then it's doing nothing because it already passed everything and it's doing nothing. So this is only to show you how it actually works, that you can open and close a position. Now let's do, this is like just to open and close a position. Now let's say that we would like to see how the hedge mode really works. For that I added this open short close to close long. If we put this to true, here, true, let's see what it does in the market, right? So what we should expect is that when it starts, it's open in a long position. That is what it actually did here. And when we reach the 30 seconds, we should see that instead of closing this position with a sell, is opening a short position that is going to be independent from the long position. Let me put here status live. 30 something should be now. You see? Now instead of closing the original one, is creating a sell position. And let's see what is happening in Binance. In Binance is happening the same thing. We have a long position and a short position. So this is a little bit an explanation to show you how the hedge mode really works. It's supported by Hummingbot for all the connectors that has hedge mode. And it lets you like open longs and shorts at the same time in the same market and treat the positions like independent positions. So see that the amounts are almost the same, 23 units of long and 23 units of short. But we are like kind of hedged right now. So well, that's basically to show you how this position hold feature works. I hope that you like it. Obviously that these are toy examples. This is not a trading strategy, guys. Don't think that this is a trading strategy. It's just a very simple controller that has less than 100 lines to show how you can open a trade and close it, or how you can open and hedge it, or how you can open and close a half of it. That is why that is missing. I'm going to do it now. Let me stop this and close the positions, because this the last part is, instead of closing, I will close partially. So I will just sell the half. Where is that part? Is here. It's like the amount is we are checking the current position amount divided by 2 if this is true, and if not, we just use the full amount. So let's run the last example, and we should see that it still works in hedge mode, but we are hedging the half of the inventory that we are passing there. So we should be hedging, well, it's not going to be exactly a half, because it should be like, I think that it will send an order for 11 units at the end. Well, let me wait up to 30 seconds. Hi Maxi, I know that you were there. Now we should be using 11 units, as I mentioned. That's because of the quantization. It's like, this will be like 11.5, but probably the mean increment in units of WorldCoin is 1 unit, the minimum that you can send. So that is why it's not letting me send an order of 11.5, and it will coerce it to 11. But see that here is the same thing. We are hedging the half of the position that we have long. How you can use this? You can use it between spot and perps, for example. You can buy in a spot, or have a strategy that is trading in a spot, and say, I would like to hedge this amount of my spot position. You create the executor, you hedge it, and that's all. So it's very simple and very straightforward to use, I think. Well, let me know if you have any issues. I want WorldCoin to go up, because I am holding a bunch of WorldCoin. But well, that's a different story. Well, I hope that you like it. That's all for today. We learned like the new things about the position hold, and I showed these 2 basic examples that are pushed into the PR. So if you want, you can review the PR and use it as you want. And another thing that I didn't mention about this is that this position hold thing can be accomplished by using this order executor, but the other way that you can keep a position and increase that bag of position hold is by sending a action of stop executor with position keep position equal to true. Oops. So here see that stop executor actions. Here I am sending position executors. So if I am sending position executors that usually when I call stop, it will reverse the trade, because as we mentioned before, the original idea of the executor is that it has like a triple barrier. So at some point in the near future, we'll reverse the trade. If we don't want the trade to be reversed, we can set keep position equal to true, and it will do the same thing as the order executor. It will move the order that bought and put it in the big bag of positions that we are holding. So this might be really interesting if you use it well, because let's say you can use the position executor just with the take profit order. So you are like buying and selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. If the price goes down far away from the price that you have the take profit, you can say, okay, I will keep that in my position, and I will continue placing another executor to buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. So that's like one way that you can use in it. That, well, it's how I'm using it right now. And then you can control your overall position and hedge it or close it when it goes to a positive PNL and so. Well, last question. Ed James says, suggestions for hedging for Spaniards that can access Binance perpetuals. What are Spaniards? It's like you're from Spain. But well, I have suggestions. You can use several things. in Hummingbot, you have access to injective. That has also an open liquidity program. But here you can use injective to trade. I don't know, Helix. Helix app is the injective UI to trade. You can use also Hyperliquid. That right now it experiences a lot of a lot of attacks. Seems like the sexies are not happy with Hyperliquid. They reduce the fees even more. This is a very good fee structure. The one that they have for retail is a very good fee structure. The one that Hyperliquid offers. And injective has negative fees. So if you trade in injective, you get negative fees. For maker orders, obviously. The only bad thing is that the trading activity should be high in order to make sense for you to place limit orders with negative fees, because if no one is taking your order, it doesn't make sense to get the negative fees. Other options are DYDX, B4. This one is another option to hedge. That you also have a connector with Hummingbot. Now we added Derive. That Derive is one of an exchange that also offers options, and the good thing is that they have an active campaign right now, so they are giving out rewards. So usually all the protocols like Hyperliquid, all that stuff, they make points program and all that stuff. So that's really cool, because if you find a way to really earn the rewards from the programs, you benefit the exchange because they need users and they need liquidity and they need trading activity, and you benefit yourself because you're going to get very good rewards. The interesting thing about these guys is that they offer options, and they offer perps and spot. So I will look at Derive, and we just added the connect. Check the icon is really cool. So I will look for Derive also. We are in contact with the Derive team too, because lately they sponsor a connector that was made by Israeli, one of the community members that usually codes connectors. And well, he added the spot and the perps connector. So if someone wants to try Derive, I think that is cool because it's a DEX that seems like works like has a similar experience of a sex, but it will give you rewards. So that's the most cool thing. I will look for this a little bit. And if you have any questions, just post on Discord. That I think that the Derive community is really happy to get involved with the Hummingbot community. So feel free to send. Those are options that you can use to hedge in the DEX side. That is like usually where you will always be able to have access to these things. Other exchanges that you can use to hedge are KuCoin, where you have access to KuCoin. We have KuCoin futures, Gate.io. You also can hedge with Gate.io. OKX, it should be in Europe too. So well. Or the other option, I can send this because I'm live. So well, but there are other options. Well, any question before we finished? If not, that's probably all. And we'll see. We'll see you next week on. Yeah, let's update executors. This what is. Yeah. Any other question, guys? If not, I will end the live stream. No. Okay, well, is everything pushed? So you will see you have this PR to test what I just shown today. I hope that you like it, and see you next week. Have a great weekend, and hopefully Bitcoin goes up. Okay. Oh, nice. I have some animations. Okay, let me see if I can do it again. Oh yeah, that's really cool. Well, see you next week. Ciao, ciao.